Yo, what is up, guys? In this video, I'm going to be explaining to you why I believe the devs should stop nerfing the victims. I don't know if that in the future they have any plans to nerf the victims anymore, but I believe the victims are perfectly balanced, except for Connie. Her ability needs to be adjusted a bit, not to increase the cooldown. That was a ridiculous nerf. I think that doesn't solve the inherent problem with her ability. But beyond her, I believe that in terms of the characters themselves, the family is much more unbalanced. If you look at the gameplay in the background, and I'm using Leatherface, I am one-shotting people. This shouldn't be possible because the game isn't balanced around the fact that you can one-shot people. A lot of the map structure, a lot of the abilities, the health of the victims, none of it is balanced around the fact that I can hit you one time, stun you, and then the second hit instantly kills you, and the only character that can counter that is Anna. They need to do something about that. They need to do something about that. And the game cannot be fixed if you continuously nerf the victims. And I'm not saying that they are going to do that. I'm simply saying that they shouldn't do that if they plan to. Because it's going to end up like DBD, where they, at the beginning, they completely nerfed the victims. They buffed the killers. The game became too unbalanced. And then they had to nerf the killers and buff the victims once again, making the game even far more unbalanced to the point where it became a joke. And the balance in DBD at this point is quite literally a joke. And I don't want this game to end up like that. I don't want this game to end up like how Ash the Evil Dead ended up. As you can see now, the game is not receiving any more support because the game died. So the developers are not willing to put in any more time. They're probably looking towards other projects off the money that they made on the game. I don't want to see this game end up like that. So please, please devs, do not nerf any more victims or their abilities. The problem does not lie with that. The problem lies with the things going on around the killers and the victims mostly. So make it harder for the victims to do the objectives. Make it harder for the killers to get kills. Make it more of a penalty for missing a hit. There is absolutely no penalty or downside in 90% of cases, unless they're about to escape. There's absolutely no downside for missing a hit. Like even with the overhead chainsaw swing. If I miss a hit with the overhead chainsaw swing, it's not like that's gonna cause that I have to rev the chainsaw all the time. Even if I miss a hit, I can still immediately swing after that. So why should Leatherface be able to even do that? The overhead swing is supposed to be penalized if you miss a hit. That I believe that was the main point. You get this big damage, but if you miss that hit, there is a penalty. And it should be that way. I shouldn't be able to swing immediately. That takes the skill out of the overhead swing. Like, sure, I get stunned for like a quarter of a second, but that's nothing. So I believe that nerfing the victims or even the family needs to be tweaked a little bit, but nerfing the victims themselves does not solve any of the problems with the game, because they are not the problems. It's the things going on around them that are the problems. The fact is that the fact that the door can infinitely stun people has nothing to do with the victims themselves. And I know they're looking into that, so we don't have to worry about that. But what I'm saying is that nerfing the victims in these cases won't do anything. Make the objectives harder. Make it easier for the family to feed grandpa. At my level, me being level 26, I don't ever see grandpa get filled up. Ever. Most of the time. I don't see him getting filled up most of the time because there's really no point, because the victims are rushing you. There is no point of being stealthy. You might as well rush the door, try to get it open as fast as possible, and basically makes feeding grandpa useless, and feeding grandpa takes forever. And when the victims have agitator, you spend a decent amount of time feeding grandpa up to level 4 just for him to get brought down all the way to level 1. And I know they're going to tweak agitator probably to bring him down a level at each level. But the fact is that don't make it so that the victims become completely useless, because that will kill the game. That would absolutely destroy the game, as it did with DBD. And the only thing keeping DBD really alive, honestly, in my eyes, is the fact that that they have all these guest characters. If it wasn't for that, the game would already be dead. But that's just my 2 cents. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'm out. Peace.